Japanese schoolgirls. Studious, reserved, obedient. Across the country, these sailor uniforms can be seen in thousands of classrooms. It's the ultimate symbol of Japanese conformity and self-control. But one group of girls have decided to rebel. Prim and proper is a thing of the past. The kogeru, or black-faced girls, have turned the traditional Japanese look on its head. They're Essex girls with attitude. Kim Stringer has recently arrived from London to launch Japanese Vogue. She's fascinated with this new trend.
The girls in Harajuku and Shibuya who have very much adopted the Western approach to sort of sun tanning. Where sun tanning in the West is becoming quite old-fashioned, these girls are now following the sort of surface chic kind of look and have got dyed blonde hair. They go to sun tanning parlours every single day and they take those pills that actually make you really, really brown. And they wear lots of denim, they wear very short skirts, they wear those incredibly high platform shoes. They're very recognisable purely because of their colouring, and they even have their own fashion magazine.
With their outrageous style, these black-faced girls are the driving force of Japanese fashion.
バービーちゃんが可愛いわけはスタイルもいいし可愛いし、ね、可愛い顔が可愛い、だから憧れだよね。そうそうそう人形だけど、
日本人とか日本っていうのは例えばファッションにおいてだけを考えてもすごく西洋に対する強烈なコンプレックスみたいなないものねだりみたいな強烈なコンプレックスみたいなところがあります。例えば今入ってガングロの女の子とかだって黒人になりたい、外人になりたい、そのルックスになりたいっていうのを自分の日本的なルックスに無理やり当てはめていって新しいものにしてしまっている。
Egg Magazine is the style bible for the black-faced girls. The ever-changing fashions are a national obsession. Cameras and photographers record their every move, and the girls themselves are celebrities.
...10年前だったら誰かがこれがすごいおしゃれなんだっていうとそれに惑わされてその洋服を着てしまうという子たちがものすごく多かったと思うんですけれども、今は本当に自分で洋服を選んで着るっていうそういったしっかりしたファッション哲学っていうのが若い人たちの間に定着しているんで、ファッションは今後もストリートが引っ張っていくと思います。
However, not only are these girls dressing to impress,They're also rebelling against the strict rules and regulations of traditional Japanese society.
ギャルのファッション自体一昔だったら女の子はこういう格好をしてなければいけないという日本人の男が作った女の子はこうであるべきだっていう押し付けた価値観で女の子っていうのは洋服を選ぶ時もこれ女の子っぽいねみたいな形で洋服を選んでたと思うんですよ。でもギャルの子たちは自分が可愛い、自分がこれが着たいんだ、そこで男の子が受けるからとかそういうことじゃなくてやっぱり自分がこれが着たいんだ。
The new Japan has countless tribes, each with its own dress code and favored hangout. Harajuku is where you can find the junior high school girls. What you see these 14-year-olds wearing today, the world wears tomorrow. Here, schoolgirls' cries of kawaii, meaning cute, reach fever pitch to describe the latest street fashion.
I'm in Harajuku today to scout out new ideas that the kids are wearing for an American company to use for fashion inspiration. Tokyo is starting to lead the market in fashion I think probably because the kids now are starting to be allowed to dress differently and to express themselves in a different way, whereas in the past they've been very subdued with the school uniforms and that kind of thing. So they're starting to express their creativity, and it's tending to be really new now. The Japanese put their outfits together very interestingly. It might be a retro t-shirt with the denim skirt, but you'd still have your glitter shoes, which I think it's sort of a new way on the old things, and I think the West could really use that.
Across town is the other end of the fashion market. This is the home of Tokyo's answer to the Sloane Ranger, the Ginza girls. These designer darlings demand the best that money can buy, and it's got to have a Western label.
The super sophisticated, more Ginza types, you could call them Ginza girls, a little bit older, a little bit more polished, who tend to dress for work or for smarter occasions, who will be very sleek and understated, wearing again very designer merchandise. Their hair will always be glossy and groomed, they'll always have red lipstick, their skin is always very well taken care of. Very understated, sort of lots of cashmere.
今日はティファニーでキーリングを買いました。それから、ハロッツでビニールバッグ、それから、お洋服を何点か買いました。で、今日の、ファッションのポイントは、エルメスのスカーフ、それから、ルイ・ヴィトンのバッグ、それと、ティファニーのアクセサリーズ。
私がブランド品を好きなのは外国の人たちが持っていたり外国の人たちの憧れというのを感じてそれで持っているのだと思います。
I think the Japanese are absolutely fascinated with fashion. You can see they have so many fashion magazines over here. Now they have a Vogue, which they haven't had before. And I think that they are completely interested in new things, new products, new ideas, and they spend an awful lot of money on fashion. They don't spend enough on their homes because they have very small flats, small apartments, so all their money goes on holidays, goes on fashion.
The Japanese are the ultimate fashion victims. Looking good is an absolute necessity. Japanese designers themselves have been enormously influential.
The Japanese fashion designers that everyone knows about, Rei Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, Junya Watanabe, Yohji Yamamoto and Issey Miyake, are definitely at the forefront of all the fashion movements right now. Both Yohji and Comme des Garçons showed in Paris for the first time in the early 80s, and I know that they took the world by storm because up until then people didn't really consider dressing in black, especially long layers of black, and very much now black has moved into the general vocabulary of what we always wear nearly every single day. Issey Miyake's always been known for his pleating and his use of incredible fabrics, which he still does today. Printed fabrics, printed pleats, he's always experimenting so with the body to make incredible shapes and forms.
Japanese Designer of the Year, Keita Maruyama, has a huge passion for traditional styling. He has even produced his own range of kimonos.
たまたまアメリカ人である、たまたまイギリス人である、でその国に生まれてその国の文化の中で自分が育っていくっていうことだと思うので、だから日本人である僕が作ってるので同じバックボーンを当然持っている同じナショナリティの人たち、女の子たちがより共感するということはあると思うんですよ。
The Japanese fascination with Western looks has brought thousands of models to Tokyo. British girls Rebecca, Alison, Amy and Bridget find it difficult to walk down the street without causing a stir.
They get a lot of attention from the ladies actually, you know, like when we pull up outside the agency, and the other day there was 2 vans and we all got out the agency and there's loads of people stood at the lights going, kawaii, like this.
Yeah, but the men don't seem to give us that much attention, you know. I think it's just the way that they're so polite, where they're you'd be back at home, men would be like whistling at you or shouting at you or looking at you, you know. But here they're like, they just look and then they look away. They really don't do anything.
You never get
it's the women more, you know, like this sometimes like stop you in the street and take a photo of you with them. The Japanese are so polite to you when you're on the job. For example, right, I go on to set and you always have to take your shoes off, right? And so I leave my shoes there and then I walk onto set and like 3 of them all run for my slippers and like try and turn my slippers around the other way for when I come back off set.
The old and the new and the futuristic coexist comfortably in Japan. Traditional kimonos, unchanged for hundreds of years, can still be seen on the streets of Tokyo, side by side with the most outrageous youth fashion and the latest from the catwalks of the world. And Japanese self-confidence is reflected in the current Levi's ad. A homegrown pop star has been cast for the first time. The Japanese don't need any lessons in cool.
Levi's.
「日本のバックボーンの延長線としての新しいスタイルっていうものができていくと思いますし、僕がそこの一端を作れればいいなと思っています。
I think Japan is always going to be at the forefront when it comes to fashion. I think the designers that are here will spawn a new generation. They already have to a certain extent. They're always going to be a great influence in the West. People are always going to look at what goes on here because Japan has always been quite a sort of mysterious country and people need to break down those barriers. So I think the fashion tribes here are going to have quite a knock-on effect in Europe and America because we don't really have that tribal thing at the moment. So more and more the switch is going to come from here. People are going to be looking at Japanese magazines to see pretty much where the influences are coming from.
Drama next on BBC Choice in 24.